Hello and welcome to Footy Judge More people. It's big news this morning. Van Dijk is dropping a hint, or he isn't dropping a hint, or he's just giving a political answer, but he isn't sure about the next period. The rumors are that Zerbi is the front runner to actually replace Jurgen Klopp next season. Somehow, people are saying that it's between Man United and Liverpool. Arteta is actually staying at Arsenal. He isn't going anywhere. They denied all the reports. And Pep Guardiola is using all of this and saying, well, I'm here to extend, I'm here to dominate the Premier League. I'm here to actually win more titles with Manchester City. Nobbins has an emergency and he won't be able to make it. But hit that like button if you just joined us. Support the channel by sharing. Vote in the poll that is there, because I want to know your opinion. But listen, Tom, how are you feeling today? It's our first time we talk after the news of Jurgen Klopp leaving. It's
Yeah.
your wish coming true. Everybody said that,
Wow.
that it's your wish coming true.
First thing first, it's not my wish. I said that when it happened that he could have stayed. I still think he had a couple of years left in him, but he asked for fans to respect his wishes, so we're going to respect them wishes. It is what it is. But I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to a good end of the season under him, and I'm looking forward to hopefully the right appointment afterwards and the next phase of Liverpool. But yeah, it's been a very weird weekend, a very weird weekend, all things considered with the Klopp news. But got the win yesterday. Really good performance. Gives me a lot of confidence that the news isn't affecting the team in a negative way. So I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
Yeah, listen. Do you really believe he's leaving? Because so I'm gonna start with, I know you spoke with Hussam about this and the rest of the guys. Do you really believe he is leaving because he's tired? Or do you believe something happened in the background? I heard the theory
Um,
yesterday, but Sogdan just delivered the theory. But how do you, why do you think he's actually leaving? You think he's really tired of this?
yeah, I think what it is. I think he wanted to go last year, and he got convinced to stay on. Now he can leave the squad in a good position, so he can leave with a good feeling around. He's got grandkids now. I think he's done 24 years non-stop. I think it is just time for him to go. You know what? I need a year. I don't think it's something behind the scenes. I don't think it's anything malicious like that. I think it's just the natural course of things. To be honest, this was when he was supposed to be going anyway. This was when he was insistent that he was going to go for ages and ages, and then he signed that new deal. But I don't think there's anything deep like that. I don't think he's fell out with the ownership or anything. Because I think if he'd done that, he would have just stayed on and made them sack him. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything like that. I just think it's he wants a break, which I don't blame him for, because he's done however many years consecutively in management. He's only had 3 months off in it, and that was when he was in America. So, fair enough to him. I still think he had a little bit more to give, like, especially with the way that we've played this year and everything. But if this is decision, and I do believe it's for them reasons, then got to respect it and look forward to the last couple of months of Klopp at Liverpool.
I spoke about this many times, but I haven't asked you. I actually believe now they were forced to say. They were absolutely forced to tell now, because I don't think they would have wanted to say that now. They wouldn't, because everyone, Robertson is asked about him, Van Dijk is asked about him, and I think you don't want that in the dressing room. If I'm not, like, if it was me, I'm
Well,
like, I don't want that in the dressing room. I actually don't.
they've only been asked about that after the matter. I think that the reason it's come out when it has come out is because, obviously, Jurgen Klopp's not the only one going. You've got Pep Linders and you've got Vitor Matos going, who both want to be managers in their own right. The moment they start trying to apply for jobs and it starts leaking out, that would cause more unrest. At least now it's all out in the open, and the focus. You can have your moment where you go, "Oh my god, this, that, and the other," and the focus is back onto it, sort of thing. It. I'm happy with the way they've done it. Obviously, I think Klopp would have preferred it to be at the end of the season, so there's not another sort. But that's not football. That's not how it goes, unfortunately. So they've known about it since November, so they've kept it quiet for 2 months. But I think it was just a case of
That's the
we
reason
want
I'm saying
to do it on our
it
terms
was
rather than.
gonna be leaked, and that's why they had to release it.
I don't think anything leaked. I just think there's the potential of it coming out when other people start trying to. Because Klopp's
Yeah.
gonna have a break. Kravitz is probably gonna have a break because I think he does a lot of work with Klopp, so they'll probably just hold out for the next one together. But Linders and Matos, they're gonna start looking for their own things. The moment I could very well expect to see a story like I don't even know what Dutch clubs there are. Let's say FC Twente sack the manager, and then Pep Linders applies for it, and then the news starts filtering out. That would cause more unrest if we didn't know what was actually happening. But now that we know, it's just a case of it's out in the open. We've dealt with it. We move on.
Okay, last question about this because we spoke about it, guys. Hit that like button. Over 100 people here, and we aren't even on 100 likes. Hit that like button for us, people. It's ridiculous that we have more votes than likes, people. So hit that like button. Last question is: do you think this will galvanize the team or push them back?
I think it'll galvanise them. I hope it'll galvanise them, and I think it will because we've got a good professional group of players that
Right.
who know what they can achieve this year. And there's a desire to achieve that. And I think this is just a fire under the belly once again. It's not like we've been playing badly this season. We are where we are. We're top of the league when no one expected us to be. I think it'll just be that thing that kicks them on a little bit more. Obviously, there's the potential that it could get tail, but if yesterday's game is anything to go by, that's not going to happen. I thought we played brilliantly yesterday, and a lot of the young kids, who played yesterday performed well. A lot of the older, experienced players came in and put in some good performances. So, based on the limited evidence we've got so far, it's only going to galvanise them. But obviously, midweek and the weekend is where we're really going to see the impact of it when you go into two massive games.
Yeah. Listen, Constantinus, first super chat, first one supporting the channel, people, sending a super chat, getting involved in the conversation. Get your comments in, get your super chats in, of course. Hit that like button for us. Tom must be a proud father. Alonso, the favorite. And we're gonna come to this news, Constantinus. We're gonna come to this news. The performance yesterday, I thought is expected from Liverpool at home to smash Norwich. I thought it was brilliant. I thought a lot of players, the guy that played in the midfield was absolutely fantastic. But the Van Dijk thing this morning was, I think the news after yesterday was he's not sure he's staying. And I was reading that I'm like, why are you saying that now? Why aren't you committed? At least he could have answered and said, I'm focused here now. I'm focused with the manager. I'm focused with the club right now, this and that. But instead, he's like, I'm not sure. There's going to be a lot of change. I actually think it's the wrong answer. I think it made news. I think he could have answered a better answer because you have 1 year left in your contract after this year and you haven't renewed yet. And normally the renewal happens 18 months before. He hasn't yet. So I believe that was the wrong one. That was absolutely the wrong answer. It causes unrest again. And I'm not trying to find the problems at Liverpool, but the comments he said aren't the ones that you're expecting. You're expecting players to say, we're staying, we're committed to this. No matter who's going to come in, we're working with them. A lot of stuff like this. You know what I mean? If the club wants me to stay, I'm here. That's if you're planning to stay. I know nobody's sure about the future. But I thought it's another comment from a big player that is 32 years old that is again making news. And oh my God, the Klopp is leaving. Should we stay? Should we go? I know you see it differently because you're a Liverpool supporter. Looking at it from outside, I don't think that was a great answer at all.
It is what it is. I mean, I don't think our players have ever really given the best answers, but I think he's just saying that there's no contract there because there's a bit of uncertainty. He doesn't know if the next manager wants him or not. He's not going to say, "Oh yeah, I can't wait to stay and play next year if he gets sold." So he's just asking for a bit of clarity. I think a lot of players are going to be asking for a little bit of clarity. I would be able to tell by his answer if he wanted to go. This is just someone
I don't think
who's
he
going,
wants to go.
Yeah, this is just someone who's going a bit of a diplomatic answer. There's going to be a lot of change. I don't know if I'm wanted here next year. I don't know, but we're going to see, sort of thing. I don't think people are trying to make mountains out of molehills with it. You'll be able to tell with these players when, by what they're saying, if one of them wants to leave. So, and I just don't think with everything that's happened this year and, you know, all that stuff, I don't think Van Dijk would want to go. So I think it's just very much a case of being diplomatic and waiting, because let's be honest, what manager's going to come in and not want him? What manager's going to come into Liverpool and go, nah, you know what, this Virgil van Dijk fella, best centre back in the world for the past however many years, I'm all right, you know, I can pass on that. So yeah, I just think he's being diplomatic. So it's nothing for me to worry about. If I
Well,
was
who
getting
do you
worried,
think
then
is
it'd be
going?
something
Who do you think is going to go? Who do you think from the players is going to go?
ideally, I'd like all of them to stay, and I think there's a world where that happens. But I think the one that's most likely to go is Salah. If anyone's going to go, I think it would be Salah, just because, you know, the money on offer and stuff. But if he wants to stay in Europe and keep competing in Europe for the honours in Europe, then I don't see why he'd go. Because provided we get a decent manager in, which it looks like we might do, we shouldn't really drop off that much. We've got a good squad. So, you know, look, it's very hard to tell who I think is going to go without knowing who's coming in and trying to, you know, piece in my mind what's going to happen. And obviously, the whole contract situation with Salah, Trent, and Van Dijk looming over, it is going to be a bit of a distraction. But I'm hoping that we get this new director of football and soon it's all sorted, because I can't see which manager in the world is going to come in and not want any of those players to stay at the football club. So, yeah, I think people are trying to make mountains out of molehills. Like Klopp said, I think people are trying to unsettle us and unnerve us because of the
Nobody's trying to
news.
unsettle Liverpool, by the way. Tom,
People are trying to unsettle Liverpool.
nobody's trying to unsettle Liverpool.
People are
Nobody.
trying to unsettle Liverpool.
No. Who did this? It's not the rivals, right? It's not the media who did this. It's Liverpool Football Club who did this. And I'm not. By the way, you sound down. You sound upset, right?
I'm all right. I'm probably one of the better ones who's taken this news well because of all the shit I've I'm. Do I think Klopp could have stayed? Yeah, but I've already got in my mind who I would want to come in as the next manager.
Who do you want to come in as the next manager?
Ruben Amorim.
You want Ruben Amorim?
I want Ruben Amorim.
Did he win anything, this guy?
Yeah, he's won the Portuguese league and 3 Portuguese cups. And he won them cups back to back to back. 1 with Braga, 2 with Sporting. He took a Sporting side that hadn't won a title in 20 years, was stuck in mid-table, you know, really bad situation. Came in, won the league in his first full season, won back-to-back cups. He's currently top of the league right now with Sporting. He's had a very good season so far. He knocked Arsenal out of the Europa League last year, and he's achieved all this with Sporting, building them back up to one of the best sides in Portugal, whilst making £200 million profit and having to sell his 7 best players every single season. He lost Fernandes, he's lost Palhinha, he's lost Mateus Nunes, he's lost Nuno Mendes. His record signing is about 20 million. I look at everything he's achieved. I look at the
Do you think this guy can battle Pep Guardiola?
I don't think there's going to be.
You know that's the problem. You know the problem is going to be.
No one can battle Pep Guardiola.
That's the thing. It's only Jurgen Klopp, and I said that.
Yeah,
it's the unluckiest manager on earth. If it's Salah doesn't get injured in the final against Real Madrid, he lost the league by 1 point twice. He's the unluckiest manager on earth. Like, I've never seen someone that unlucky.
This is why I'm not going to sit there and judge whatever manager comes in against Pep Guardiola, because I don't know Pep. We're not bringing in an experienced manager by the looks of things. We're bringing in someone who is young and there's a project that he can bring through. So Xabi Alonso, if Xabi Alonso comes in, I'm fine with it. I love Xabi. I'm not going to expect
Zerbi,
him.
though? Do you like the Zerbi?
I'm not a big fan of the Zerbi.
Why?
I've got to be honest. I just don't like his style of football. I don't. It's something about him. I can't exactly put it into words. I just don't like the way his teams play.
Really?
I don't think it would translate to Liverpool. I think that the way Liverpool, De Zerbi's a better City manager than he's a Liverpool manager in my eyes.
I
because
actually think that Zerbi is the best guy to battle Pep Guardiola with better players. I think he would do wonders.
but my point to that is the way
100%.
the way you beat the way you beat Pep is by playing the opposite of Pep football.
I disagree, but fine.
I think it is. The way I look at it, the teams that have caused Pep the most problems have been teams that have played a bit of a different system and played football in a different way. De Zerbi has a lot of inspiration and a lot of influence from Pep. So it will come down to, in those moments, who's better. And as much as I like Liverpool, Manchester City's team is better than Liverpool's team. So on a straight shootout where both teams are playing the same way, they will win every single time. If you play a different way, it's a different style, you can get different results. I look at Amorim, I look at Alonso. They are more traditional Liverpool managers. They play a more traditional style of play that I know that they can work better under tight restrictions. These are managers who I just think embody Liverpool more, if you get me. I think Zerbi is going to be who replaces Pep, or maybe even I know that Xavi's leaving Barca now. Maybe De Zerbi heads over to Barca. They're the type of clubs that will suit
but that's my
style
problem
more.
with you, Tom. You're so attached to how Klopp played football that you think the next manager should do the same, even though you have plenty of new players around, like the Nunes, right? Even Jota isn't the type of player that Jurgen Klopp like. I'm talking about McAllister. I'm talking about Sabozlai. You have a lot of new players. You're about to replace Robertson as a left back. That's
I
the
don't think we
news.
are.
Huh?
I don't think we are.
A lot of people said that Robertson went down a little bit. My point is, you don't have to. I'm not going to tell you don't have to. You have to. I think you're so attached to Jurgen Klopp that you think this is the only way of playing football because it's the only success you have seen for your club as a young fan, of course. Like I have seen, for example, at Inter, I have seen Inzaghi, Conte, Mourinho, Mancini. Barcelona have seen Luis Enrique. They have seen Pep. They have seen Luis Enrique is completely different than Pep. This guy won a treble. This guy won a treble. Real Madrid have seen Ancelotti, Zidane. Like, my point is, you can get a manager that plays a different system, a different way of playing football, and it doesn't have to be Jurgen Klopp. Because every time I'm talking to you,
but we are not in the situation that suits De Zerbi. If we were 4th or 5th and not expecting to challenge for major honours over the next couple of years, I'd bring in De Zerbi.
But I think that Zerbi. Okay, I actually think,
what has De Zerbi won?
Okay, so it's not about what De Zerbi won. So let me.
Well, it kind of is.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what he won. He won the Ukrainian league or the Russian league or something. But you asked me what he won. I'm gonna tell you why I think that Zerbi is a good coach for the Premier League. Number one, he has experience in the Premier League. Number two, people actually don't see what the Zerbi has been doing. So the Zerbi, which is I'm absolutely like knowing and thinking in my head, and hear me out, people. The Zerbi with better players will do wonders. People aren't realizing that this guy is playing with Veltman, with playing with Van Hicken, with playing with Billy Gilmore, and making them look like very, very good players. Look at how he utilizes the people that he has.
Yeah, but I can say the same with the managers that I've mentioned.
Oh yeah, I don't know about. By the way, I'm not saying Zerbi or Amorim because I actually haven't watched enough of Sporting Lisbon to tell you what is right and what is wrong.
Ruben Amorim has turned a striker from Coventry into one of the most wanted strikers in Europe.
So I gave you that.
£100 million.
My point is, did Zerbi already playing in the Premier League? That's my point. That's my point. And to be honest with you, if Amorim is good and he's gonna, like, I've seen a lot of coaches come from the Portuguese league and don't succeed as much in the Premier League. The only one that I think was successful was Mourinho, if I'm not mistaken. Who else came from the Portuguese league and was successful in the Premier League? I can't remember any. I can't.
Well, what do you define as success? Because I don't think Villas-Boas was
for
successful.
Liverpool is winning.
For Liverpool, it would only be Mourinho. Because Villas-Boas wasn't successful. If you're on about for the clubs they stepped into, were they successful? Marco Silva's been a successful manager in his time in the Premier League for the most part, but that is not the level that we're after. I just look at Ruben Amorim as someone different because of the work he's done. Andre Villas-Boas is the name that gets thrown about when I mention Amorim. He's just another Villas-Boas. Andre Villas-Boas had arguably the best Porto side in the last decade. In fact, the last 20 years since Mourinho. He had Radamel Falcao. He had James Rodriguez. He had João Moutinho. He had some of the best players the Portuguese league has seen in the 2000s in that team. He was always going to achieve something with that squad. Ruben Amorim has Wolves rejects, Coventry strikers, and family Shaw midfielders, and he's developed them and he has achieved big things with them. If you just look at Ruben Amorim's development list,
I don't know a lot. You know better than me, so I'm gonna raise my hand and say I don't know.
I can just say so. He sold Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes, one of the better players in the Premier League on his day. For the most part, Bruno Fernandes, Mamadou Ugarte, one of the most desired defensive midfielders in the world last season, went for 60 million to PSG. Mateus Nunes, another one who he's worked with. He's now at Man City, wanted by Pep, was very much desired. Joao Palhinha, one of the best DMs in the Premier League, was a Ruben Amorim player. He had him at Braga, brought him over to Sporting with him, developed him there. He's now at Fulham. Who else is there? There's Nuno Mendes, the left back from PSG. Came through the Sporting Academy, nurtured by Ruben Amorim, developed into, one of the best young fullbacks in the world. I understand why everyone wants Alonso, and I'm for Alonso.
Yeah. I want you to get into Liverpool. This. Why is everybody wanting that? Do you think it's because he's top of the league? He's about to lose top of the league in the Bundesliga, plays a good football, scores a lot of goals, and he played for Liverpool.
I think part of it is the attachment that fans already have, because losing Jurgen Klopp is not just about losing the manager, it's about losing the man. Jurgen Klopp got Liverpool, and that's a big thing. So I'm assuming that a lot of fans want to find a manager who just knows Liverpool, so that side of things isn't a tough thing. But I get why people want him. He plays a nice, attractive style of football. But for me, I just worry about, this is his first full season. I know we've done practically all last year as well, but this is his first full season. I don't know if he's ready for the big.
I don't think he has enough experience yet in football. This is going to be another Arteta situation.
Yeah, but I think the point then goes back to no one.
You aren't a guinea pig. Your club shouldn't be a guinea pig.
No, but back when we sacked Rodgers, there were two clear managers who you went for, and they're good managers. Ancelotti and Klopp. Managers who've been about for a while.
Jurgen Klopp won titles, Champions League finals.
Yes,
the guy is a successful coach.
That's my point. Look at them. Look at the pool of managers now. Who is there? Who has a CV at the level of a Klopp nowadays?
There's not a lot, but there is one manager in the world that you would get that might be, but I'm not sure.
Is it Zinedine Zidane?
No. I think there is only one manager now that is his next step is to coach, to make more money. To be honest, there's only one manager is the next step to make more money. It's my manager.
What, Inzaghi?
Because the problem. Okay, so here is the problem. I'm not saying Liverpool are a bigger club than Inter. You won more trophy. You won more Champions League. We won the exact same league titles and stuff like that. Inzaghi is very similar to Jurgen Klopp, right? In terms of he knows how to play the cup games, which is what Jurgen Klopp does. He knows how to get advanced in cup games. He has a very good system. Inter scored 50 goals and conceded 10, right? The problem is, I actually like Inzaghi so much now. I actually wanted him out last year, but he's improving. He's a young manager. But I think, unless Xabi Alonso wins the title in the Bundesliga against Bayern Munich, I think Inzaghi is the only one out there that might come to the Premier League and actually do well with the players. My point is, I actually don't think Inzaghi suits the Premier League. Plays three in the back. Plays three in the back.
From what I've seen, his style of play isn't traditionally successful in the Premier League. I just look at
the only one that succeeded is Antonio Conte, and that's one season only. So
and he's been trying to ride the coattails.
No, but I'm talking about a resume. Someone who won he won the cups, Super Cups. We're almost gonna win the league.
I just don't.
But I don't think he would leave. The only thing about the Premier League difference is the money, right? It's how much money you will pay a manager. Because
And
if you pay a manager double the wages he's making, well, the manager, and that's something I accept at the moment, that I
yeah,
don't like it, but I accept it. To be, I don't want Inzaghi to go, especially because I know we're gonna win the league this year. I don't want him to go. The problem with it is that we need to offer him money. That's the thing. But
I think if he's going to go anywhere, he'll end up going to a United or something. I don't think Liverpool will be
I
the
don't
ones
want him
taking
to
the
go to
gamble on
Manchester
him.
United, to be honest.
I just look at the options that are available. Look, there's 3 names. If you were to ask me my 100% dream manager, so no
Yes.
restrictions are on it,
Yes.
I just get to pick a manager from world football who could come in.
But you cannot pick Pep Guardiola.
No, not Pep. Obviously, I go Simeone. I go.
Are
Diego
you
Simeone.
serious? Oh no!
Yeah.
Fuck off.
What do you mean? Diego Simeone is, for me, the second best manager in the world that isn't Pep Guardiola.
Because what?
Simeone, who's won in tough situations.
You know, I didn't know that Bayern Leverkusen plays 3 in the back. By the way, I had no idea.
Yeah, but you watch the build up. It's dead fucking intricate. It goes to a back 4, and it's all very like wow sort of thing. I just look. If you were to ask me without restrictions, Simeone. I love watching Simeone. I think he's a boss manager. I love his passion. I love his tactics. Yeah. But that's never going to happen because he's the most well-paid manager in the world and he loves Atletico Madrid.
You aren't paying him 40 million euros a year.
Exactly. That's why I said no restrictions. It would be him. But
absolutely not.
But out of the options that are available, I would go for Amorim as my first choice and Alonso as my second choice. That's what I would go for personally, because I just look at it. There isn't a manager out there that is a Jurgen Klopp fella.
And that's my problem. Again, that's my problem. Jurgen Klopp is, people keep saying and that's, I'm not going to go back into this. I actually believe Jurgen Klopp, people keep saying Jurgen Klopp is leaving you in a good state.
Yes.
I don't think so. Not yet. One more year would have been best. I'm tell you why. I'm going to tell you about people. Before I do that, 250 people here and we aren't even on 150 likes. Hit that like button, people. Hit the like button underneath the live chat. Let me do the super chat and then I'll tell you why. Right? Konstantin is saying, I think it's clever of VVD, FSG ambition must match it. I agree with you that this VVD answer was kind of, well, I thought he would be more committed, in my opinion, Konstantinos. I think he should have been more committed, but I get why he didn't say that he's completely committed to the thing, because Tom said that he doesn't know if they're going to offer him a new contract or not. Maybe the new manager wants young players, maybe. But I don't think the new manager will get rid of Van Dijk. Anybody would want Van Dijk. I would love a Van Dijk. And my team. Gagandi Puar is saying, thank you so much for the super chat. He's saying, with Klopp leaving, do you think it will answer a lot of questions regarding FSG ambitions for Liverpool on the pitch, become serial winners or just compete? So I heard the theory about him leaving because of the backing and because of the Netflix and because he doesn't want to stay with FSG, blah, 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 all the stuff. I actually don't believe that Jurgen Klopp is leaving because he's tired. I genuinely don't think so.
What do you think's gone on then?
I think he's not happy with the direction of the club or something like this. I think there is something that happened in the background. Listen, he's gonna take because the reason why I'm saying that, unless, which is in an exact same theory, Tom. If he wants to go to Germany, wants to go back to Germany, that means he isn't very comfortable at Liverpool. If he wants to go back to Germany, he isn't very comfortable at Liverpool. Right. One of the things, yes, there is no other way around it.
Let's just be logical here. The man has worked under the same restrictions for 9 years.
And maybe he wants more now.
No, but he doesn't know, because that is him as a manager. The man loves being the underdog. The man thrives off being the underdog.
You're assuming that he likes that and he doesn't like this. You're assuming.
I have to assume.
Do you think logically? Do you think logically anybody would want to be in a disadvantage? No. Do you believe genuinely that anyone likes to be likes to work under these circumstances? I don't believe any sane human being would want to work in a disadvantage. What are you talking about, Tom?
No, because it's a mindset. Jurgen Klopp
really
likes the mindset of being the underdog. Let's not act like he doesn't like being the underdog. He loves it.
Oh my
He
God.
thrives off it.
You don't believe that Jurgen Klopp would like to sign the best players?
Obviously he would, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that Jurgen Klopp would now all of a sudden leave the football club because the restrictions that he's been under for 9 years he now doesn't agree with. When for 8 years he's agreed with them wholeheartedly. Why would we just see a sudden change like that? Even though this summer we spent £160 million on midfielders for him.
Yeah.
We done an entire rebuild for him in that midfield, but now he's not happy. Let's just use a little bit of logic here. If he was going to quit because of the restrictions, he'd quit last year when we didn't bring in a midfielder. This year we brought him four decent to very good ones at that as well.
That's very strange. So you brought him new midfield. Salah is staying. And I don't want to go back into this. Liverpool fans think that there's unsettled and stuff like this. Just think about it. You brought him new midfielders. He's working now with Darwin Núñez and getting something out of him. Salah is staying at the club, right?
Yeah.
And now he's leaving.
Yeah. Because he was going to go last year.
All right.
He was going to go last year and his wife told him no. You wouldn't feel comfortable leaving. You wouldn't feel comfortable leaving after that. That's why he stayed on. He was going to go last year. So I just think
he's preparing the team for the next
year.
Coach.
He was tired last year.
Let someone tell me that's logical. Wallahi, I don't know. I don't know. That's not logical for me. I'm never going to change logically, is that when you get the new players, you would want to work a year or two with them.
And he has worked a year with them.
1 year with this new midfield.
Yeah, because he's tired.
All right.
And he can leave.
You really believe
what is flexible?
You really believe that he's gonna? You really believe that what he's? This is something with Liverpool fans, guys. You guys are so attached to names that you believe that because he said he's tired in the interview. And listen, I am not against Liverpool. I'm just trying to make sense of it. You believe that because he said he tired in the interview, you just believe anything that he's not gonna tell you the real reason in the interview. He isn't gonna tell you if there is another reason. What the fuck? You believe he's gonna? Okay, so let me ask you something.
No, I don't. All I will say is if he takes a job next season,
he might not.
No, but hear me out. If he takes a job next season, then something's went on behind the scenes. And I'll agree with you. Otherwise, he's went by the book, and I just have to believe what he said.
Maybe he doesn't want to lose Liverpool. Listen, he doesn't need to take a new job next year.
Listen to my point.
Yeah.
He has come out and said he wants a break. He's tired. He's not going to take a job next year. Not club, not country. So if he decides once Nagelsmann goes, you know what, I'll do the German job. Or if he decides next year, you know what, I'll do AC Milan, or I'll do
Bayern, or I'll do whatever, Barcelona.
Yeah, whatever. Then I'll go, okay, something's gone wrong then. Something happened behind the scenes. What's going on there? If he goes next year without taking a job, then I can go out, then I can believe what he said. Because he said he's tired, he's not going to do another year, and then he'll think about coming back into it. But I don't want to sit there and get involved in all these conspiracy theories about him. I'm going to go by what he said because that's the least he deserves in my eyes. Unless he proves me wrong, I'm going to believe what he said. And right now,
I give you that.
Tired.
You like the guy. You saw the success under him. You'll give him the benefit of the doubt. You believe him. Well, I don't have to.
You know the part
I am not a rival, but I'm from outside. I don't have to. I only have to think with my mind. But that's what people, Liverpool fans in the chat.
My point then, Mo, would be, if you think that this summer he's seen his arse over the restrictions, the part that gets me even more about that is we were willing to break the British transfer record for him. We were willing to go that far for him. So I don't see how now it would be him losing his mind over
I think there is something else. I think there is something else about the club. Something else happened in the background. I don't know what it is. Because listen, you guys, Liverpool fans, you think everybody hates you? I don't. Maybe Man City fans hate you. I don't actually. I have a lot of friends here with Liverpool fans. Tom, Hussam, Jerry, Jamie, a lot of them. I am just from outside. I don't need to think like you. You guys don't understand this. I need to overthink things. Because in my head, it doesn't make sense for him to get a team like this, be top of the league, right? And he gets new players to work with, and everyone at that club loves him. The fans adore him, right? For him to leave. And also working at a club like Liverpool with the background stuff. And if everyone, and this is what it is, if everyone is making sure he's comfortable, there is a scouting team behind him, he is comfortable. He should be. If I'm working in a company that and this is my job, he isn't retiring.
But he's come
Listen,
out. He's come out and said.
He's
come
not
out and said
retiring, is
what
he?
his reason was, though. He's come out and said when
he
first
said, "I'm tired. I can't do this anymore."
No. He come out and said what it was. They were doing the meeting about next season, about the players that were going to sign. The scouting department brought that there. He was asked about his He was asked about where he wants to go for pre-season, and he sat there and just went, "Fuck, have I got to do this again?" And that was when he went, "Ooh, it's not right there." I just look at him and I go, "That's a man who has done. This is the longest he's ever spent at a football club, longer than Dortmund, longer than Mainz. He had a fucking shit time of it last year because of how bad we were." I just think he's one of the he's a person who I believe.
So yeah, I get what you're saying.
I believe he's a person who is someone who would rather leave too early than leave too late.
That's it.
I think he's someone who'd rather be a what if I'd stayed rather than I shouldn't have stayed.
Yes.
He'd rather leave people wanting more. Yeah, he'd rather leave people wanting more from him than sitting at the end going, "I wish he'd gone earlier." I think that's just how he is as a person. We're never going to change that. I don't think it's some deep conspiracy theory about this, that, and the other. I understand why you can believe that, and you're more than entitled to. But from everything I know about Jurgen Klopp, it's just he's a man who, especially after last year, wants to leave on a high note, wants to leave with a feeling of positivity, which is partly why I think he didn't go last year, even though he wanted to, because he sat down and went, "I wouldn't feel right leaving them after that. It wouldn't feel right for me." And I think ultimately he wanted to wait until the end of the season to announce everything. But, football and media is how it is. He had to announce it earlier. I just think that the one thing I will say on him is I hope he doesn't have any say on the next manager. I hope he doesn't. Jurgen Klopp has my undying love and respect. Do not take anything he says about the next manager. Leave the appointment to the next manager for the people who know what they're doing, rather than asking Jurgen Klopp and out the decency of what he's done. Asking him. I know he said he won't, but just in case, I'm just putting out there in the open, just for whatever reason. He should not have any say, because we are trying to replace a manager. We are trying to replace our best manager of the Premier League era. It's going to be a tough job. I don't want sentimentality to come in. I just want the best man for the job. Whether that is Alonso, whether that is Amorim, whether they tell me it's De Zerbi and De Zerbi's appointed. If De Zerbi's appointed, I'll support him. I'll support him 100%. It could be Nagelsmann for all we know. Another young manager who's free at the end of the season because his contract with Germany's up. There's a lot of options for us. The manager market isn't perfect, but the manager market has stuff that you can work with. I will always say Amorim because I've watched a lot of him, and his body of work, what he's achieved. That is a lot for me to go off of. But whoever it is, they're going to have my support. And as much as I know these conversations are going to go on throughout the season, I don't want to keep talking about it. I just want to talk about this current team for the rest of the season. I want to talk about what are we going to achieve this season under Klopp and under the rest of the coaching staff. And the only thing I want to hear about now from a board level and everything is who the next sporting director is, because we need to nail this one. We really do. Because we've not got a manager who can correct mistakes the way Jurgen Klopp could. We've not got a manager who is a ceiling raiser yet, like Jurgen Klopp is. So we need a sporting director who is exceptional at their job and can really address the issues. And for me, I'd go for the fella from West Ham, that Tim Steedman.
Yep.
That's who I'd try and get.
Yeah. Over 300 people here, guys. Hit that like button. Get us to 200 likes. The like button is underneath your live chat, people. So hit that like button. We'll speak about Arteta and Pep Guardiola now. At the moment, Black Mamba is saying Hussam biggest fraud for not covering Iraq versus Jordan. I believe Hussam is sleeping. I'm not sure.
Jordan won, didn't he?
Well, Jordan won in the 95th and the 97th minute, 3-2. I can't wait to watch the highlights. Absolutely. Step back merchant. Is it true Arteta's leaving? And we'll cover this in a second. I will actually talk about this because I want to get Tom's opinion. I know a lot of Arsenal fans here don't like him, but we'll see how it is. Mr. Tipso, now he's saying greetings, Mo. I believe Klopp, this is his pattern. The longest he has stayed at the club before LFC was Dortmund. My response to this, guys, is that Pep Guardiola has had 2 clubs before and he hasn't stayed for long, but he's staying at Man City because it's successful and because he's comfortable. Well, I guess time will tell. But but thank you, Mr. Tipso, for that. Appreciate everybody, by the way, that is sending this channel super chat, supporting me, supporting this channel, my humble channel, of course. We're trying to build it, trying to give you shows all the time. I really appreciate you people. I really appreciate the support. We're trying my best. I'm waking up at 7 in the morning here before work to try to do content for you. And I appreciate you guys staying here, watching us, supporting us with likes, super chats, and sharing our video. Wallahi, you don't know. I really appreciate you guys. With you, I'm going to keep saying it. The channel is made for you and with you. It's not us. We sit here and freaking talk, right? And you guys listen and support us. This is how it works. So thank you. I really appreciate you. Everyone that is liking, sharing, commenting after the video, sending a super chat. Really appreciate you people. Really appreciate you big time. Big time. Arteta, though. I'm going to ask you something, Tom. Does he deserve a contract extension now?
I don't think he deserves a contract extension, but I can understand why they're giving him one if there's interest around him because they want to keep him as the manager. I wouldn't do it personally, but they want to keep him as the manager, don't they? So you give him a new deal, time down for longer. I don't think he deserves it because he's not done anything deserving of it. I thought they gave him one last year. I thought that was that was when he deserved it, and they gave him one. I can only see the reason they actually give him one now is to stop any interest or anything. So I don't believe it's the correct decision, but I get why they're doing it, and they are fully committed to the Arteta project, which could be successful for them. I don't personally believe it'll draw the success that it could do, but they believe it's successful for them, so they protect them. I think it's a big show of faith in Arteta, which should only be a good thing. It should give him, the security blanket, should we say, to take a couple more risks, try and close that gap on City. So, do I agree with it? If I was an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't be over the moon with it, but I can understand why they've done it. Because they're fully committed to this Arteta project.
I actually I actually disagree with it. Listen, people called me that I defend Arteta so much. I actually think that they have to wait until the end of the season. Without a shadow of a doubt.
I do agree that he shouldn't have got one now.
You know what they're afraid of? That he succeeds this season in something
and then
he goes to Barcelona. But that would be idiotic, though.
I don't get why anyone would want to go to Barcelona at the minute, to be honest. I get the name of it, but it just seems like
he's Spanish,
a shambles. Though. Yeah, but is it what you have a stable environment at Arsenal where you are loved by the fans?
Is it stable, though? Is it?
Yes, compared
the fan base aren't stable at all.
Compared to what Barcelona is.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Arsenal might be the beacon of stability. You just look at the state Barca is in. I don't get why any manager, especially Arteta, who has built a squad that could compete for top honours, would leave that for the shit show that is FC Barcelona at the minute.
Yeah, 100%. In the chat, people, I want everybody to tell me, it's a yes or no question. Do you believe that Arteta deserves a contract extension now, before the end of the season? Type yes if you believe that Arteta deserves a contract extension. I don't know why. Yes, he built a squad, but I believe it's completely... Why does he deserve it now, though? Because you won't be able to let him go. Because a contract extension means a bigger pay. A contract extension means bigger, like they will have to pay him bigger compensation. Why does he deserve a contract extension? You know what that? Let me tell you what I mean.
What are they rewarding him for this year? Because a contract extension to me is a reward.
I'm gonna tell you now. I'm going to tell you. You know, if Arsenal give Arteta, and hear me out, people in the chat, hear this theory out. Do you remember when I told you that when the board hired Arteta, they knew what they wanted? They wanted someone who would work with youngsters, and develop a team that might win, right, in years to come. If they give him a contract extension now, what they are telling the fans, what they are telling everyone in the media is that we are happy with how things went. We are happy with Arteta making mistakes. We're learning with Arteta the system. We're learning with Arteta the process. And we're happy with it. And we want to continue this. It's literally this. They are telling everyone that fuck you. We are happy with the process. We're happy with this. And they are telling people it doesn't matter if he wins a trophy or not this season. We are happy with what's going on. If they give him a contract extension now before the end of the season, it literally sends a message that fuck you all. We're happy with him. We're happy with how he's managing this team and building this team. This is our ambition. And we're all right with it. They're literally doing this.
I mean, I just look at it and go, a contract extension to me is a reward for, you know,
for meeting the objectives, right?
Yeah, and
exactly.
all Arteta's done from last year is go backwards. Out the cups.
Man, not yet, man. That's the point. Not yet. In the board's mind, if they give him a contract extension now, Tom, what does that mean? They believe that he didn't go backwards, right?
Yeah, no.
If you're rewarding someone, that means you don't believe
they can believe it. They can believe it, but why I wouldn't is I think he's on back. He hasn't exactly taken that next step forwards. He's went from first at this point last year to third or fourth. I don't know where Villa are, so they might be fourth.
10 points behind or 8 points behind what they were. But again, but that tells me that they believe that last year was a fluke.
They're out the cups. They're out the cups already. Yes. You know, as much as this is the squad, they might go, oh, it's not ready for the league title yet. It can get fair. It can do a cup run. It can get to the semi-finals and finals of a cup. I mean, fucking hell, Chelsea have got there. Middlesbrough got there. Fulham got there. You tell me Arsenal couldn't get there. That you know, that's another thing. Obviously, they're still in the Champions League, but they're not going to win the fucking Champions League. Man, I don't think that's a wild statement.
I don't think they are. I don't think they're going to win the Champions League. Listen,
then you're just looking at it going, unless he has a ridiculous second half of the season where he practically wins every game.
He wins 15 out of the last 17 games or something like this. You know what I mean?
Like he has, for all intents and purposes, went backwards. Despite having 200
but
million
that's what
spent
you
on him.
think, though.
Yeah, no, that is what I think. The board are clearly just going, Arteta's our man. But
exactly.
Why? But then my question would be, what is their metric for measuring that? Because my metric is they'll end up with less points. They might end up with less points, not go far in competitions. Whether people like it or not, trophies are the currency of success in football. Mikel Arteta's only trophy came with his worst squad. As he spent money, as he's got more control, what's he done?
No. So see this comment. Someone is saying as the season ends, right? So the way I am seeing the situation at the moment is that, do we believe Arsenal are playing as good as last year? Do we believe Arsenal will win the league? Do we believe Arsenal will win the Champions League? No. And there is one more thing. Looking at this, and I can't wait for the Forest and the Liverpool game. Because actually these two games are going to tell us how the season will go for Arsenal. Without a shadow of a doubt. This season, these two games will tell us how this season is going to look for Arsenal. If Arsenal don't win these two games, I believe they will actually be behind Liverpool and Man City by a big margin. When I mean a big margin, like 6-7 points. They won't be like within the 1 or 2 or 3 points. So that's what I believe.
So if they lose both games, I'm just going to go by
because they play away at Forest tomorrow, which is a massive game for them.
So if they lose both games and Liverpool beat Chelsea and then beat Arsenal, because obviously we played them in the second game, Liverpool would be 11 points clear of them.
I think that's done from then, right? With 16 games left.
If City have a game in hand on them, and if City win that and the next 2 games, City would be 9 points clear of them.
Yeah, so people say, are Arsenal still in the title race? I see your comment, right? Even though
I don't think I don't think the
I
title
believe
race
at the moment the next 2 games. Okay, so hear me out. The next 2 games will tell us exactly where Arsenal stand. If Arsenal beat Forest away and beat Liverpool, they are definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, put themselves in a better place, right? Here's the question. Do I believe Arsenal will beat both teams? I actually don't believe that Arsenal will beat Liverpool. I believe Arsenal will beat Forest. I don't believe Arsenal will beat Liverpool. And my biggest problem is that if Arsenal don't beat Liverpool, I don't think at that time, I think their title hopes are done. Unless there's no ifs. I'm telling you, it's not if. I'm telling you at the moment, I don't believe, Mo doesn't believe that Arsenal will beat Liverpool at the Emirates. Simple as that. And it's not about Liverpool beating Arsenal. It's about you have to beat Liverpool to close the gap. Because I think Terry did the math. If Arsenal don't beat Liverpool and they fall 5 points behind both teams, City and Liverpool, the odds are very low. Because the odds are very low for Arsenal to beat both teams with 5 points. Because remember, Arsenal still go to the Etihad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big ask for 16 games left. People get rattled. Arsenal missed the trick when they lost to Fulham. To be honest, this is one of the things that Arsenal did wrong. When they lost to West Ham, they should have beaten West Ham at home. I think these 6 points are a massive deal. This is 6 points. That's a lot of points in a title race that might be very tight. And people don't understand this. I'm not against. I actually wanted a 3-horse race. Arsenal 6 points. Because the difference in Arsenal and Liverpool and Man City drew to Liverpool. So Liverpool still didn't win. So Liverpool have a chance of recovering. And Man City have a chance of recovering this if they go to Anfield and draw. When Arsenal drew Liverpool, yeah, that's 50-50. Liverpool lost 2 points at home in the race, but they lost them against Arsenal. Arsenal losing to West Ham and losing to Fulham is a big deal. Because you're losing 6 points against teams that the other teams will win against.
I mean, you just got to look at because for me, one of the defining points of the season is the Christmas period. How do you get through that month of December and the start of January when it's all the games shucked at once? Liverpool in December won 4-3 at Fulham or against Fulham, 2-0 against Sheffield United, 2-1 against Palace, drew with United, drew with Arsenal, beat Burnley, beat Newcastle, and beat Bournemouth. And in that time, got to the final of the Cup, beat Arsenal in the FA Cup, and secured qualification to as top of the Europa League group. City won a Club World Cup. So City, they won the Club World Cup in like mid-December. They lost to Villa. They beat Luton. They drew with Palace. They beat Everton. They beat Sheffield United. They beat Huddersfield. They beat Newcastle. They beat Tottenham. Man City starts to get that run going. Arsenal in December and January beat Wolves, beat Luton, lost to Villa, drew with PSV, beat Brighton, drew with Liverpool, lost to West Ham, lost to Fulham, lost to Liverpool, and then beat Crystal Palace. Out of all them games, both sides played at teams of a similar level. Arsenal actually had the least amount of games, and Arsenal had the worst record. Now that to me just shows that Arsenal aren't there yet. And that is the thing I will say is that is fine for Arsenal fans because I believe that last year was more of a flash in the pan than this year is. Last year was you capitalising on a number of teams not performing well. This year it's evened out again. You are competing with two of the best sides in Premier League history. You are going to finish there more often than not. The good thing you're going to get from this is experience. But that experience is meaningless if you're not adding trophies on top of it to teach a winning mentality. You've got enough fire in the belly now. You've lost titles. You've had it rough in certain things. But who in this team knows how to win? Zinchenko? Jesus? Maybe Kai Havertz? Beyond that, who? So in the big moments where, pressure on the line, you need experience to guide you through, who have you got? And that's shown this year in the tight games. The one thing I will say, St. James's Park this year, horrible place to go. Horrible place to go, despite the fact that Newcastle haven't really performed at the levels that we expected. But titles are decided on these big moments, where you go to tough grounds, where the game's not really your favour, and you still get the 3 points. City came back from 2-1 down. We came back from 1-0 down to 10 men. You lost 1-0. Fulham this year, City won whilst down to 10 men. Liverpool won despite being 3-2 down with 10 minutes to go. Arsenal lost and drew. These things add up. It's all well and good not losing the big games, but that's not what's going to let you down on the title. Arsenal fans will not look back at the title, even if we go back to last year. You didn't look back at that title loss and go, we lost it at the Etihad.
Arsenal should have been top of the league, Tom. They should have won against West Ham and Fulham. This is how title race works. They should not have lost against West Ham. I keep saying this because they created 50,000 chances against West Ham. Should have won against West Ham. And I'm sorry, against
I think
Fulham.
their build-up's broken.
Huh?
I just don't think. I don't think their system is working at the minute. I think that the one thing that you will say about Klopp and Pep this season is that they had to work with non-ideal circumstances, should we say. We've had a lot of injuries. Man City being without KDB for the entire year.
No.
Arsenal.
I'm talking about this year. Fulham and West Ham, Haytham.
Arsenal have who've Arsenal really missed this year long term? Partey, but that's by the by, isn't it? We've missed Thiago the entire year. It's what happens when you buy injury-prone players; they miss games. But in terms of they've had Odegaard for the entire season. Saka's missed one game and they won it. Martinelli's been available for most of the season. Jesus missed the start, so that's one you could pin on it. Rice has been available the whole season. Saliba and Gabriel been available the whole season. Zinchenko's been available the whole season. Ben White's been available the whole season. And no, Kingsley, we didn't win away at Luton, and City did lose away at Wolves. But if they were to miss out on the title, they're the games they'd look back on and go, that's where you drop the points.
If City miss out on the title, no. But I'm going to tell you one thing, Tom. I'm sorry. With due respect, I actually believe that Arsenal were the best team, the better team against West Ham. Man City cannot come out of Wolves game and say, we were the better team. We should have won. It was a 50-50 game. That's what people don't understand. You can lose the games or draw the games where you weren't the best team on the pitch. Against West Ham, Arsenal were the better team, weren't they? With the better team. You created 5 clear-cut chances, Arsenal. That's my point.
Yeah,
because when you are playing well, you should win the games.
I look at. I don't like to think. I know chances created is an important factor, but so chances created isn't the be all end all. You've got to score them. It's all well and good creating loads of chances, but if I've got an attack that doesn't know how to score goals, what's the point? Arsenal's attack doesn't have a killer. I've been saying it for years. You don't have a player who you trust to finish those chances. That's the problem. This all comes back to Arteta again. Should he got the new deal? I don't think it is time for him to get a new deal, but I understand why they've given one.
Same here. Yeah, same here.
I wouldn't have done it personally, but they clearly back the project, even though I think that there's still a lot of kinks in said project.
It's their choice, though. The problem is some of the fans are on board, some aren't. It looks to me like the board are okay with it. They're just
Yeah,
okay with it.
the board are on board with it, which is that's a good thing for Arsenal to have. But ultimately, I think they might have jumped the gun a little bit too early, and now it's going to be a bit of some.
Yeah. I agree. But listen, the last point we want to talk about before we go is Pep Guardiola's extension. He's choosing the right time to extend. And I like he hinted at probably extending. Do you
If
believe
Pep
he's
Guardiola extends, then it's done for. The league is done for the next how many years because there is no
really?
manager. There is no manager who can compete with them. The only manager who could compete with them was Klopp. That is the only manager. Arteta can't compete with them. I will go back to what I said earlier. When you try and play Pep football against Pep, it comes down to who has a better team and who can do it better. No one can out Pep Guardiola. So in a straight head-to-head battle, Pep Guardiola will win. So you need a manager who does something different. Who I'm not expecting Xabi, or I'm not expecting Ruben Amorim, or who else there? Ten Hag, Pochettino. Any of these managers who try and do something different to beat him first year or two, because that's not going to happen. Pep Guardiola isn't going to sign on for 5 years. He's going to sign on for 2. If he signs on for 2 years, and whatever happens with the charges happens, by the by, the league's in trouble. And yes, you don't play Pep 38 times, but you play him twice, and you have him looming over your shoulder with his team that doesn't fucking lose games for the entire 38 games. That adds up. No one can compete with Pep. No one can.
Yeah,
There's a
I believe.
reason. There is a reason why Jurgen Klopp has finished second, however many times.
It's not about people don't understand. One of the things about Pep Guardiola, and I said that, one of the things that Pep excel at is that he can lose a game against Liverpool at Anfield. He can lose the game. He isn't in game management. He isn't the best. He doesn't change his system. However, Pep creates the best system in the history I have watched that win you the leagues. The reason why, because Pep's system works against 16 out of the 19 teams he plays most of the time. Like he might lose against Arteta. He might lose against Ten Hag in a game where they play counter attack. He might lose against Klopp. But you're guaranteed that you're going to every single game knowing that Pep Guardiola's team will dominate this game. The majority of the time
I
when
just
they
want
lose,
people to bear in mind. I just want people to bear in mind that Pep Guardiola had his worst run of form as a City manager this year, and is still expected to win the title by 95% of people.
yes,
And you think it's easy to compete with that?
it's
not.
It's not, because the system doesn't change. It doesn't. He plays Wolves the same. The only teams he changed for are probably Liverpool at Anfield, right? Maybe Arsenal this season. But he doesn't change his system home or away. The guy went to Newcastle, dominated the game. He goes to every team, try to dominate position, put the other team under pressure. That's what I mean. That's why I don't like it, because it ruined football for me as a neutral, because I go to games knowing who's going to have the position, who's going to press, who's going to do this. But it's genius in the same time, because we start majority of the seasons with Pep Guardiola knowing that his team are the favorites to win titles, because we know that he can win against 16 out of the 19 teams he plays. Probably Pep Guardiola is guaranteed to win 29 to 30 games a season, at least. Because this is how I watched him at Barcelona, at Bayern Munich, and even at Manchester City. When he came to Manchester City, Antonio Conte won 13 games in a row to win the title, and he had to change the system. And Pep Guardiola said, I will play with my system until my players learn. And now, look at how the system works. I actually believe that this Pep Guardiola guy is a genius in terms of like creating a system. And if Robert Amorim, with all due respect, or anybody that comes to the league, I don't think anybody will be able to beat Pep.
No,
I agree with Tom.
It will come down to when Pep goes and whoever replaces Pep, and then the league will sort of balance out
Unless
again.
unless they get point deductions. Let's just put this out there. Unless they get point deductions or something like this. If they become innocent, right, and nothing is happening to Manchester City, no, HM, you're wrong. When Conte starting the season, he played four in the back. And then he changed. You remember that time when he said, I'm done with this? He went to 3 in the back. So no, you don't know.
And
That. Listen,
also,
I'm not going to talk about that time.
Maximius, there is a difference between Liverpool runs of form and City runs of form to the Arsenal run of form that was there last year. Liverpool and City hold the joint record for the longest winning runs in Premier League history of 18 games. That's just in the Premier League alone. I'm looking back at Arsenal last year. Their longest run of consecutive wins: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2.
Guys, while Tom counts,
1, 2,
there's
3,
almost 300
4,
people here.
5,
Can we get the likes to 200?
6,
I want
7.
200 likes on this stream. 200 likes on the stream. Underneath your live chat, hit that like button. Just make sure that you did. Close the live chat, hit the like button, come back and chat with us. Support the channel, people. Send your comments, your questions, whatever you want. We're still staying for a bit, talking about this Pep Guardiola.
The longest run Arsenal had last year was 10 wins in a row. If I go to City last year and go find their longest winning run, it was, I think, came at the end of the season, didn't it?
Last season, I don't know actually.
Yeah, so they drew with Brighton. So before Brighton, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 wins in a row to end the season and put the pressure right on Arsenal during the same time, which Arsenal dropped points in about 8 games. Before that, they went on a 1, 2, and then it was, bearing in mind, this was this season where they were very inconsistent and they still had a longer winning run than Arsenal. This is why it's not the same. We are not, Mikel Arteta, whether he likes it or not, will never be what Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola were. They are record breakers in this league for a reason. They went 18 games winning in a row. Jurgen Klopp went 17 games winning in a row, drew 1, then won the next 18 in a row. Mikel Arteta's record is 10. All the while, both of these managers are still competing on all fronts as well. So whilst we were winning 17, drawing 1, winning 18, we won the Champions League, we progressed in the Champions League, we won a Club World Cup. How many times has Pep Guardiola went on a mad winning run where he's got a Carabao Cup in there, an FA Cup in there? Last year he had the Champions League, he had another FA Cup last year. These managers do everything. And yes, my argument is based on what will continue to happen because that is what I've seen. And no, Arteta hasn't shown constant progression because he's went fucking backwards this year because he's lower in the league on less points with a worse record. He's went back. He has not progressed this year. He hasn't. Whether you try and argue that or not, it would take an effort that would be one of the best in Premier League history to overturn that and progress this year. The only way he could progress this year was by winning the title, because that is the only progression from second to first. It is. That's the only way you can only progress from second to first.
Yeah, but that's not how you measure progression. Only there's a way.
Well, that's how you measure at the top level. For Arteta, if he'd come fourth and won a League Cup, would you say that was progression?
If what?
If Arteta this year came fourth but won a League Cup, is that progression from last year?
No.
So what would be progression from last year where he still doesn't win the league title?
I can tell you. Goes to the wire, last game of the season, takes Man City and Liverpool to the last game or the last two games, because the reason why I'm saying that, and I know it, but the fact, right? And everyone here in the chat can tell me, by game week 32, Tom, you, me, we did shows together last year. We knew that Man City will win the league. We knew that Man City were winning the league. It was done. By game week 34, by the way, yes, mathematically Arsenal were there, but Man City, by the way, gave up the last two games of the league. By game week 35, they were absolutely winning the league. We knew that. Me and you knew that. What I mean is that Arsenal can go toe-to-toe with City and Liverpool towards the end of the season. That's progression, because that shows that you are out there competing. Because I believe winning the league or not sometimes depends on very small details. A referee's call, a slip from a player. What I mean is that you progress with this team. As Arteta, you show the mentality that you can absolutely compete until the last day. And in the Champions League, you go far in the Champions League competing with the top. You win against Porto, you go to the quarterfinal, depending on the draw, right? You see how you play in the quarterfinal. That's called progression with the team. Because remember, Arteta, this is his first job as a manager. Well, if they're going to sack Arteta, and we're going to say about this, if you're going to sack Arteta and get a new manager that will work with the squad, that's fine. But that's called progression. You're telling progression is from, what if I tell you that a team that came second with 15 points behind, the year after, came second with 1 point behind? Is that progression for you? Do you believe that's progression?
Kind of. Not enough.
Exactly. It is progression, Tom.
I look at progression for the team like Arsenal's. It should be going from nearly.
Okay, so let me ask you
winning.
something. Are they better than Liverpool or Manchester City?
No.
Okay, so why do you have the target for them to win the title? The target should
Because
be
they came
compete
second
for the
last year.
title. Yeah, but came second because they were absolutely playing fantastic.
So when we, I'll tell you right now, when in 17-18 after we lost the Champions League final, we finished fourth that year. Going into the next year, everyone expected us to challenge that title, even though based on the logic there,
And he did challenge. Did you win it?
No, we didn't. But
you didn't. You came second.
But that was the progression. The year afterwards, we won it. That is progression.
But you didn't win the league the year before.
No, so we went from.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. People expecting Arsenal to win the title, right?
Yes, because they went from fifth to second. Progression then would be to first.
Okay, but Man City won the treble, and they are still the best team in the country.
Yes. Guess
okay,
what?
So they progressed as well.
Three teams can have the same expectation.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you.
One will succeed.
I agree with you. But two of them will miss out, Tom. I agree with you. Two of them will miss out.
So two of them will not hit their goal. Not every team in the league is going to progress in a year. That's not how football goes. It's the simple fact of the matter. It's not how it goes. Some teams do not get where they want to get to. And ultimately, that means that if there's three teams challenging for the title, only one team is going to succeed. And the two teams that miss out, could be some of the best the Premier League's ever seen. But ultimately, that isn't the progression that was expected. It's a matter of fact. And look, Arteta, who's done well. First job, a lot of pressure with the Arsenal squad that he has to fully overhaul. But I just don't believe that he's going to take that next step. I don't. And he can prove me wrong. And if he proves me wrong, I'll hold my hands up. But I don't believe he's the man that can win Arsenal a league title. I don't believe he is. I think he's done very well at building this up really well. But to take that next step, I don't think he's the correct man. And the part that does get me is we keep going on about, he's still a young manager. He's still got time. It's his first job, this, that, and the other. You do realise that the man I mentioned before, Ruben Amorim, the sport manager, he's 2 years younger than Arteta. Like, the era of managers that we're moving into now are around Arteta's age. So the young manager tag is slowly starting to fall away. And he's becoming just a manager. He's done 4 years at Arsenal now. So it's his first job. Is that just going to stick with him for his
No,
entire
no,
time at
no,
Arsenal?
no,
Or at what point do we go,
no.
okay, it's been and gone now. We're judging you by expectations. You should have learned by now.
Yeah.
You should know how to deal with this stuff by now. This is what gets me. Arsenal is a club that is a very successful club with rich history. And I get what Arteta's done really well there. But, and I've said it before, I don't use the bricklayer to tile my roof. Arteta, I don't believe, will ever be the man to compete with the very elite managers and win that title. I believe he's a very good builder. But he's not, I don't think he's a very good winner. And until he proves me wrong, that is how I will say it. That's how I'll say it, because he's done nothing to show me.
No, he hasn't won anything. Like the cup he won was.
And I just,
not actually a
I
club.
just feel that Arsenal, the club the size of Arsenal, need to win.
Should
Stuff.
hire a better manager. That's what you want to say.
Should hire a winner.
My point is, when they hired Arteta, the board, the team weren't in the direction that you're talking about. They wanted young players. They wanted a ready-made manager would have asked for more experienced players.
And that's why I said everything Arteta's done up to this point is correct. You hired the builder.
So we agree then.
You hired the builder to build your squad, but now the squad's built. You now need someone to lead the squad to the promised land.
Maybe I agree. This is not. I don't think that's a bad thing to say.
I think that we could end up in a similar situation post Klopp. Maybe the next manager we bring in is someone who is very good at building a squad, but when it comes down to the pressure moments, when it comes down to getting over the line, he struggles at it. At which point, I'll be of the same ilk. I'd go, we need someone who can get over the line. You need a winner. Because that's what these clubs need. You need to win trophies.
Let me do the super chats. Mike, thank you everybody that's sending us super chats. Guys, still 300 people here. Hit that like button, to be honest. Why LFC fans not campaigning for rubbish Gerrard? Are you
the word you used before Gerrard is why Liverpool fans are not campaigning for him.
Why do you want them to get Gerrard? That's a joke, Michael. But thank you so much for supporting the channel, sending a super chat. Appreciate you. Queen Nadra. Big up Nadra. Thank you for the super chat, Nadra. It's if Alonso wins the league competing against Tuchel, then I think he becomes to LFC. He can compete against Man City, but the PGMO might intervene. Listen,
Thomas Tuchel does not hold a torch to Pep Guardiola
at all. Thomas Tuchel isn't a great manager.
Thomas Tuchel is a good cup manager. Thomas Tuchel can win your cups. Yeah. Thomas Tuchel is not the basis for me going, oh, I've got a great league manager here. It would be a big achievement. It will still be a big achievement if Alonso gets over the line with Leverkusen because of the history behind him and everything. But I wouldn't look at that and go,
you are the guy. You can beat Pep.
I've watched, for me, one of the best managers in history, and it is biased there, but one of the best managers in football history in Jurgen Klopp win one against him.
Hold on. One is the best managers in football history.
Yeah.
You're waffling now, but fine.
I said biased as well. Don't get me. I said biased as well.
Okay, I didn't hear biased.
But I've watched him win just one title against them.
Could have won 2 or 3 if he were. Oh man.
This is what Pep does. This is what Pep.
Yeah, but
does.
That's what I mean. People don't understand. Thomas Tuchel is a great. Like, I believe Thomas Tuchel can read one game manager. He's very good at it. That's why he's good at the cups.
He'd be a good international manager.
I actually never watch Bayern Munich or watch Chelsea and said, yes, I can put my hand on how they play football. I just don't see it.
He'd be a good international manager, Tuchel. Because it's just short bursts. I think Mourinho's future now is an international manager.
Yeah.
Short bursts. But now it's just this. And why is the expectation for Arteta to win the league? Because he came second last year and should have won the league last year. The expectation now becomes, okay, take the next step and win the league. That is the expectation. Every Arsenal fan going into the season said, we now need to win the league. And yes, I don't think you do, but you believe you have world-class players. You're the ones who have Starboy Saka. You're the ones who spent £105 million on Declan Rice. You're the ones who have a better centre-back than Virgil van Dijk and William Saliba. You're the ones who believe you have the perfect squad I never said you will, but the expectation was there set by you. I'm just going by your expectation. The expectation was Arteta should win the league. Just because I don't personally rate your team doesn't change the overall expectation. 99% of Arsenal fans said we need to go win the league this year.
By the way, my friend, I disagree with him, but fine. That's his opinion. I actually think that you only need progression. Guys, we're 4 likes away from 200 likes. Come on, get involved in the conversation.
Let's bear in mind, for you
Yes,
to say
go.
no one rates Arsenal's players. I watched Igal put 9 Arsenal players in a combined Arsenal Real Madrid 11. 9. That means that certain players rate your team. Certain people rate your team very highly. Therefore, the expectation would be to get over that hump and win that league title. No, I don't believe you. Again, why? So
You're now
I
getting into a
expect you
conversation
there.
with one person in the comment, by the way, and I'm
Yeah.
loving it. I'm loving it.
You say the squad isn't built, but the squad. So the squad last year wasn't built, and yet you should have won a league title. Now it's not built. What? Are we just forgetting that last season didn't happen? You base your expectations on what happened at the football club. Last season, you should have won a league title, and you didn't. Why would the expectation now be to do the same thing over and over again? You've just spent 200 million quid. How is that not building your team? How? You just bought a world-class DM. How is that not putting the final piece in the jigsaw? Like, I don't get it. I understand that you want to defend your club, but for me, you can't spend 200 million quid after just missing out on the title and go, yeah, I'm fine, not getting the title again. As long as we get to match day 36 this time instead of match day 35, I'm okay with it. No. Come on, man.
Anyway, listen, people. This is absolutely. There is one more super chat. No, it's not. Guys, this has been absolutely fantastic with Tom. Absolutely great. Guys, turn on the notification bell. It's very important for you to know when do I go live. Trying to bring you content daily. But I want you to do something for me now, to be honest. I want you guys, it's 280 of you here. I want to do something for me. This is going to take you to the football terrace. This is going to take you to the top 6. All I want you guys to do is go there and spam the chat, Judge Mo Raid. Judge Mo Raid. So please do that for me, Judge Mo Raid. And then you can like the video, set the notification, but just go to the football terrace and type Judge Mo Raid. Their show starts in some hours, so I want you to do that. It's simple. And turn on the notification for this evening. And thank you, Tom, for being here. Tom Little channel is in the description, beautiful people. He's giving you content all the time. And if you like Liverpool, you go. And if you like Arsenal, you go as well, because he has a great opinion, to be honest. So, guys, as I said, Judge Mo Raid. When this takes you to the football terrace, just Judge Mo Raid. That will do me a big favor to do that. We'll see you guys soon. We'll see you tonight, most likely. We appreciate you, people. And we are out of here.